longer, huh?
Yeah, that's right. Just a little bit. Hey, good evening, everybody. If anybody's out there yet, I put up a late announcement. Hey, Leslie, good to see you. We're in the pre-show, so everybody stand by for that. Just a few seconds here, about 30 seconds. I got to hook us up to the streamer, or to the streamer. I got John and Bree with me here today. Look at that. Nobody's in there yet. Well, there's 3 people watching. 2. Now it's down to 2. This shows you how many are watching. That doesn't mean that's how many people are actually there. So I look at that, and it never goes over like 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 people watching. But then I look at right after the show, and it says 95 people have watched your show tonight. I'm like, where were they? They don't come into the chat room. Hey, Morgan Snow, good to see you. We are just getting ready here. We got about a little over 3 minutes before we go live. I'm going to hook us up to the streamer. Boom, and then we get our echoes. See, I have my God voice. I want you to build an ark. So, but I take that all the way down. Kids. Anyway, we got tons of kids over here. Leslie says hey.
Hi, Leslie.
This is John, if you remember him.
What's up, guys?
Hey, June Shasta. Good to see you. A round of Friday hugs for all. Well, I'll take that. I got to put on my glasses to read that without leaning in and squinting. Hello, all you Hughesum. What is with me to awesome people? Hey, Susie Q. Good to see you. We've still got, 2 minutes before we go live. Just had to get all set up. I got John and Bree here, or better, Bree and John.
It's definitely John with no H.
John with
Leslie.
no H.
Yeah, Leslie.
Oh, hi, Morgan.
So they're over visiting. You guys have any good ghost stories of your own? Nope. They got no ghost stories. John's a non-believer.
No, not a non-believer. Just need proof.
Let's
skeptic.
see. Oh, there's plenty of proof out there. Here, I'll move that way.
Pretty sure Derek was at the house the other night.
I could have looked those up and played them, but I haven't prepped them, so.
Hey, what are you trying to say, Matt Finn?
Master Finn.
Why are you trying to say Big John?
He's Little John. So stand up.
I just did.
Oh, stand up again. Here. There. See? He's Little John. There it is.
I can't keep it pushed out.
Here, come right here, Bree. There you go.
Oh, no. Douglas is on.
Douglas. That's Grumpy now. Grumpy Stack.
Oh, yeah.
He's 197 pounds today. Does that say lust, bust, or what on your shirt?
Harley Davidson, just ride.
What's it say around the curve? Oh, just.
Just.
There it is. Just. Hey, Iowa X. Yeah, more kids. It's my old neighbors and our good friends, John and Bree. This is Brianna. You've seen her in here a lot. You guys. All right, we got just a few seconds. I'm going to go dark so we can start the show. We'll be right back. Sit tight.
Are you looking for a really awesome and amazing graphic designer? How about an illustrator or a photographer? This is Rainey Roberts, and I wanted to tell you how you can get my designer, illustrator husband, Scotty Roberts, to work for you on your project. Do you have an awesome self-published book but no cover, or even worse, a cover that really sucks? Do you need a kick-ass logo for your company or some f***ing awesome graphic designs for your ads or website? Then get in touch with my husband for the best f***ing awesome kick-ass design and illustration. He knows his stuff, and he's been at this for for more years than I've been alive. Go to ScottAlanRoberts.com. That's Scott with 2 T's, AlanRoberts.com to take a look at his online portfolio of work or call 651-468-8115. Now go out and kick some ass with some kick-ass graphic design.
Hire my dad so he can take me to Disneyland.
You're listening to the Intrepid radio program with Scotty Roberts. Intelligent Talk.
Hey, folks, welcome to the show. Happy Friday night. It's Ghost Day. And this is Scotty Roberts, of course, your humble, lovable host, as usual. And you're listening to the Intrepid radio program and watching it here on the Odyssey Radio Network. And that's OD. What was that?
Quick, act cool.
Quick. Yeah, act cool. Act cool. And I have here with me in the studio, I've got Bree. You all know Brianna. And John. John's here too.
What's up, guys?
And John's hotter. Just had to say that. That was a bad joke, I know. So, anyway, you are listening. If you're just listening over on Odyssey Radio, you're catching the audio only of this show from the radio station. That's ODYSYradio.com. Go on over. You can see all the goodness. It's Odyssey Radio and everything else. And you can also join this broadcast by watching the video in two different places. One is on Facebook, facebook.com/Odyssey Radio. And you can also come over to right here on my YouTube channel, which is kind of my home of operations. That's youtube.com/Scotty Roberts. And while you're there, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you are not subscribed to the channel. And also, if you really want to, you can go down here somewhere, right underneath here. There is a little block that says join. You can join this channel. It'll cost you some money, but not much. You'll see what it's worth and what you get for it. Maybe you'll get that for it if I ever get off my butt and actually do some of those things better and more regularly. So I want to welcome everybody who's over in the chat room. If you're listening just audibly, you can come on over to the chat room and join it with the other fellow Intrepids. And I think you'll have a good time. Now, with all that introductory matter out of the way, here's Bree and John.
Hello.
They stopped by kind of impromptu. And just stopped by, which is cool. That's what friends do. Oh, there's Rainey's even coming into the room. So, Bree, you'll have to lean this way a little bit to make room for Rainey. Hi.
Hi.
There's Rainey. Boom, she's over there. There she
Not
is.
included anymore.
Oh, sorry, John. It's just Rainey, Bree, and me. So there you go. And so welcome, everybody, to the program. We've got a full house in the studio here. One of these days, we'll get cameras going that way so they can all sit over on the empty sofa over there. That's a joke because you see the sofa. So the sofa's full of laundry right now. So that's our house, you know. Impromptu cozy office. There it is. Yes. It looks cozier than it is, but it's all right. Hey, Rainey.
Hi.
Was that? Oh, on here it looks like cleavage.
It does.
I turned
totally
it like
does.
what is that right there? Oh, it's not cleavage. I thought it didn't look that way earlier. So
Here, just pull it really far down.
yeah, pull it way down.
It's like it never stops.
It's like it never ends. Oh, there you go. Thank you very
All right,
much.
I got yelled at. I gotta go see.
You got a kid yelling?
Is it Harley again?
So there's all kinds of kids upstairs now. We got our three. Flynn stays out of it pretty much. But then there are two little girls. So it's noisy upstairs. We closed the door tonight. And as you know, Fridays, by the way, is Ghost Day on the Intrepid radio program. We did have somebody lined up for tonight, but he's not here. We were going to get Ruben in to talk a little bit about Native American ghost stuff and all of that. So he's not making it in, but that's okay. And you looking for something?
My cup.
Oh, your cup. And so Captain Kirk cup, which you can find at Two Loons Tumblers, the new incarnation of that cup. I redid the art on that. Better Kirk drawing.
Yeah, you got a beer.
Yeah, there. Oh, you got beer in that?
Mm-mm.
You're drinking beer through a straw?
Ew. No.
I'm just curious. So there you go. It's a Friday, a little less formal than Monday through Thursday. And so I hope everybody's doing well tonight. I'm going to put the into the chat room here. I'm going to paste the call-in line to the studio so you can call in. Now your picture will show up down here outside the wings, and if I don't want to bring you in, I won't. But if I do, I will. And so that's the way that works. But you can call into the studio live tonight because we're going to talk about some ghost stories tonight. Just plain old ghost stories. And I also have some photos from last week. A little story I told you about, and I'm going to show you those. And so if you call in, just sit and wait. And if I bring you in, I can bring you in. And but if I don't bring you in right away, it might mean that I'm making you wait because I'm going to move on to finish the topic or whatever I'm saying. So feel free to call in. I will share my screen with you right now. Let's see. What am I looking at? Share screen. And boom, and boom. And you're going to see this whole deep effect here of everything. But now I'm going to go over to my Photoshop and show you these pictures. Now, these are low-res pictures. I could not, for the life of me, find the originals on these. But this now, I'm not looking at the chat room, so if you're talking to me, I'm not going to see it. Let me just close this down a bit. There, you can see the chat room the way I see it over there on there. See? Boom. So let's show you these pictures. Remember I told you back in 2009, I want to say it is. Could have been 2010. We were down in Winona, Minnesota, which is a river town here. And we're in the basement in this photograph, if you're looking at it. And sorry, those of you on the radio listening only in audio, you'll just have to get the visual of the picture by my description. But this is in an old antique shop in Winona, which was a river town on the Mississippi. And it's been an antique shop for years. Before that, I think it was 9 different bars have been in there. And there was also a brothel back in the late 1800s in this town. And that brothel was upstairs in this building where they also had a bar and a tavern and all of that stuff. So this is, if anybody wants to call in, call in. Now, I'm not looking at it right now, so you can call in and wait. And as soon as I get back over there, I might call you back in. But this picture that you're looking at right now, this is a photo that was taken by our photographer that came along. And he took this photo. I'm actually standing, if you see the mouse, I'm standing right here and behind here. And then our other people on our crew. And he took this photo, and I heard him muttering to his girlfriend. He said something like, "What the hell is that?" And he looks at it digitally on a screen. And so he said, "I got a weird shape in here." And he's looking around. There's nothing that could have cast that shadow over me. And so he said, "Hold still. I'm going to take another shot." Excuse me. So he took this shot next. And you see he took a step closer to me and took this shot. And whatever this shadow is, it started moving off to the right. Then he took one more shot, and this is Rainey. She's very pregnant back then. That's why the big blousey sweatshirt. And you see this thing. He turned just basically 180 and looked the other direction. And the thing, it's almost like in this photo, it's here. This photo, it starts to move off to the right. So he moves to the right and takes another one. It's still moving off to the right. Now, what you've got here is your typical shadow person. Now, the only way we came to that conclusion was that there was nothing creating this. There was nothing hanging over his lens. There was no, like, a strap or something. You'd look at this one, you go, oh, that could be a strap hanging in front of the lens, except this one was first. And you see the rounded off, and it's got kind of a shoulder, an arm, and so on. So you've got this shadow figure, which I don't know how close it was to him, but you can see where it is. And if I took this photo and, say, lightened it up a bit, you're going to see a little bit through this. You can see, if I lighten that up, it's a solid mass, but you can see through it. So it's a shadow figure. And that shadow figure, for whatever reason, just started moving off to the right. And he followed it and got it in 2 more shots, and that was it. Now, this is also the place where, in this same basement, there was a stairway at the other end that was concreted off at the top, and it's an old stairway. And I was sitting on the stairway with equipment all set up, and because it was a brothel, I was trying to be very respectful, and I said, hey, I know that this used to be a brothel, and I said, if there's anybody here, any women here that worked in this brothel, as I said, to be polite, I said, prostitutes, however you want to. I said, I'm being very polite about it. And I said, if you're here and you want to say something, I've got all this equipment. We could record your voice. And we didn't hear it until later when we got back home and we were listening through some of the recordings. We got that woman's voice that said, what you doing there? Right on the heels of that. Like, how you doing? And so I thought that was pretty cool. So Matthew Sainsbury says, hi, guys, spooky. Good night, everybody. He's not leaving. That's his Barbados greeting. I'm going to stop sharing my screen now. And I'm actually going to put on my glasses so I can see some of your comments from way out here, back away from the computer screen. So there's, I wanted to start off with that to just show you a little bit of one of the stories that I told you last week. And, Leslie says she has Spock. You're drinking from Kirk.
Oh, yeah.
I might as well show you this too, by the way. I'll call this up so you can see this just for fun, since we were talking about the tumblers. Let's find the new one. I redid the Kirk art. There he is. I'm going to call that up. So now I redid Kirk because I didn't really like the way he looked in the old one. And of course, I changed all the type and all of that stuff. So I'll share my screen with you one more time. Boom, 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 boom. And let's go over there. There's the new Kirk, by the way, Leslie and anybody else interested. I just took and I changed him. I gave him a different pose. And it's a little better, I think, than the original art that we had. So there you go. That's the new Kirk tumbler that you can get at 2 Loons tumblers. So there's our shadow figure again. I'm going to stop that screen. And there we go. All right. Hey, Delaney Pearl Jones. Good to have you in here. And glad you made it. Barbie D and everybody else who's gathering. So as you can see, those of you who are just getting here, we have some company tonight. We don't have enough chairs squeezed back here. But here is Brianna.
Hi.
And John.
What's up?
And they're joining us here tonight. Their kids are all upstairs. Rainey ran upstairs to take care of kids. There's 5 of them up there. So that's what's going on in this household tonight. And it's pretty quiet, I'd say, at the moment for
Knock on
lots of
wood.
kids.
Right.
There's at least an adult up there, so you know nobody's dead,
It's
unless it's raining.
it's always a little bit concerning when kids get too quiet.
Especially Harley.
Thanks, Delaney. I appreciate that. And so, everybody, ghost stories for tonight. I've got a ton. Some of them you've heard, some of them you haven't. I've got some I've called up on a site so we can read you some spooky stories that says in the headline, spooky stories that'll make you afraid to go to bed without the lights on. And I read through some of them and I'm like, I don't think they're that scary. But I also think that we are a little, what's the word? Desensitized to some of it because of all the different things that we've seen. And Romeldi and I love a good ghost story too. Hey, Alan Stiles, good to see you here. Glad that you made it into the chat room as well. There's Uncle Dave Potter. He is here as well. So, Dave, are you driving or are you stationary somewhere? Could I bring you in? You've got great ghost stories, and we'll hit some of those if you can make it in. Now, also, we've lived in houses that, to me, I always say, Rainy. Do you want to sit here?
No, I have a mosquito bite right here, and it really itches.
I scratch good.
Where is that?
It's right there.
There.
So not there. We don't care. Guys don't care. We're like, it's in that vicinity,
we'll
right?
find it. Right.
So yeah, we'll find it. We'll make it there. And so Rainy has always been what I call the Dave. If you didn't see the link, I'll post it in here for you.
It's a YouTube link.
Boom. Oh, that's the wrong link. Well, how did I get a YouTube link in there?
When you were creating the post.
Oh, I put the wrong link up. Never mind that link. Let me get you. I put the wrong one before then too.
I tried telling you.
Here it is. Sorry about that. Just grab me and shake me or something. So here is the actual link to call into the show. Sorry about that, folks. And there it is. Thank you, Bree.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've always said that Rainy is the ghost magnet. Rainy's got psychic abilities that she doesn't advertise. She doesn't practice it, meaning going out there and trying to get clients to do psychic readings or anything like that. But she is, and she's a clairsentient. She will see and feel presences, and she attracts them as well. There's Uncle Dave. We can bring Uncle Dave in. You gonna do the camera? Or you just gonna talk, Uncle Dave?
Attracts them as well.
Talk.
There's Uncle Dave. We can bring Uncle
Let's see if I can do this. I'm gonna get feedback here, so I would
I'm
have
here.
to put on a headset, which nobody else in this room is going to be able to hear.
Turn down.
Hang on there, Dave. We're going to get feedback, and I'm not sure where.
How's that?
Might be in my briefcase. Since I was gone this week.
Your briefcase
So
is
let's take
giving
a
you
look
feedback?
and see if I've got it in here. So I'll just talk, Dave. I'm gonna take you out of the studio for the minute. You just sit there and wait. There is times where Rainy has come up with stuff that is really strange, and she'll see things, she'll attract things, she'll feel things, she'll see things, even around here, all the time. I like your hair up. Sure,
Thanks.
Looks good. Hey, while you're standing, would you do me a favor? Would you go around to the back side and plug this in, please?
Stand up.
She took my double meaning. Just there's a little hole back there. You insert that into the little hole.
Yes. Spit on it first.
Spit on it first.
I'm moving the computer.
Uh-oh. It's not too
Hey,
bad.
$1.
Thank you. It's only a $50.
The other half is underneath.
So I'm going to just put this as the somewhat longish. There we go. Now you guys can't hear this. You could if you took this part. We could share a headset, John.
Do we need the dongle?
I was trying to move you over.
All right, yeah, I can just pull up a little bit and pull in. So Rainy feels stuff all the time. I've added Dave back into the stream, and
You said you like my
Dave,
hair
that-
up, so
I do like your hair up. It's so nice.
Let me fan mine out a little bit. Like you.
Those of you not able to see the images, I'm not sure if that's such a bad thing. So Dave has put his hair up. So Rainy will, and I learned this very early with her, she would always see things in the house where I lived when we first started dating. She would see stuff all the time. Oh, we got children coming down.
hello, children.
And Rainy also. Hey, Rainy.
You found Daddy too.
Look,
Rainy,
there's
there's
Uncle
room for
Dave. Can
you.
Say hi.
There she is. And well, now you're out of the picture.
She's one of my
So
favorite
that's
ladies.
not riveting radio, but there we are, giving instruction as we go. So Rainey would see things all the time in the old house, and she'd see the little boy that would show up. She would see things in our ranch house when we lived out at the ranch. She saw I was out of town, and she thought she saw Sam, who was about 5 or 6 at the time. And she thought she saw him running through the living room, and up in the middle of the night, she was sleeping downstairs, and she thought she saw him run to the stairwell, which went up to the bedrooms. And so she was half asleep and wasn't thinking. None of the kids are there for the weekend. And by the time whoever it was that went into the stairwell would have made it to the top of the stairs, the light shut off. And that was a 3-way light switch, which means you had to cycle it around. It would go 1 for dim, 2 for regular, 3 for bright, 4 is off. And it was always on the dim bulb up at the landing at the top of the stairs. And so she saw it go brighter, off. And of course, there were no kids there. So it was stuff like that. All the back there, stuff like there all the time.
Wet, so I'm trying to hide it.
Oh, where's it
Yes, you
wet?
can't.
Should have put on the white one.
Where's it wet?
Right here,
Who's wet?
literally.
I don't believe it's wet. So, is it wet, John?
It's a little damp.
It's a little damp.
Everywhere.
So there you go.
He's a skeptic.
That's
He has
just the
to
way it
experience
is,
the
guys.
wetness
Matt
for
Finn
himself.
says now it's a party. So there you are. So Rainey always ran into that kind of thing everywhere we lived. She was, when I was writing my book on the reptilians, excuse me, one night she told me, I saw some of those reptilians out the back window.
There were Masons out the back window.
Yeah, Masons. They were all wearing aprons and things. She didn't quite get it yet. But what you doing over there, Bree?
Felt like something touched me.
Oh, you felt like something touched you?
God.
Was it you?
Oh.
John's not telling. So,
Sorry.
you think it's a free-for-all over here, that this is just a show about prurient things, and while it is, we try to elevate ourselves above that every now and then. So, she told me that she saw what she thought were reptilian type figures, although she didn't describe it that way at first. She said she thought they were creatures of some kind out the back window off of our bedroom, which was big open, and it had the big oak trees back there and stuff. And so, yeah, June says, we know it's a male ghost now.
It could be.
Truth.
This whole side of my arm got goosebumps, and then it felt like someone touched my neck.
Oh, you're being serious.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was John
No.
doing
No,
something.
I just meant to joke.
Well, it's possible. It is cool down here, but it's always colder here than up there.
Did you feel an icy
there's-
touch?
Did I feel what?
Did she
Oh.
feel an icy touch?
Yeah. Let me try again.
Are you talking smack?
I like IOX's comment.
IOX said, show us on the doll where the ghost touched you. That would be like, well, come over and sit on Uncle Scotty's lap and point to where the ghost touched you. Alan Stiles says in the chat room, I can sense entities and I see a small orb lights. I used to wake in paralysis from nightmares on my chest. Last time it happened years ago, I got angry to get out of it, and it stopped. Now, Rainey would always wake up and see things. She sees things in this house. The creatures she said she saw, she told me a while after she had actually seen them. And I said, well, why didn't you tell me about this? Because apparently I was sleeping in bed and she saw them. And she said, well, I didn't want you to think I was crazy. I said, honey, this is what I do. This is what we do. And of course, this is way back in, I think, 2010 or 11 when that happened. But hey, you know what? Just I got something. If you do ghost hunting, you experiment with all kinds of equipment. Now,
You got a
you've
box over
all
there?
heard the geoports. Dave, do you know what a geoport is?
Not familiar with the geoport. Is it like a box?
It's the one, if you've seen it on TV, a lot of the manufacturers, independents, will build them into like old style radios and things like that. And they've got this
Like a
echoey
shack hack?
quality to it. What's that?
Like a shack hack?
No, it's different than that. They'll take like an old radio, like the vintage radio behind me here.
Oh, okay.
There it is. Let me point at it. Like that, and they'll build them into big radios, and they have this echoey quality about them, and you get sentences and things like that will come through. Well, there is an online
Are
version.
they actually? I got to ask a question. Are they actually using the old tubes and stuff?
No, it's all they build them into a.
Because I've always wondered about that, whether those old tubes would pick up.
I've wondered about that too.
Because it's
now
different
there's
than
this
a transistor.
There's this little app that I saw done on one of the online shows that they used, and it pretty much does the same kind of thing. And I thought, why not turn that on right now, since Bree felt something. And this is the kind of sound it gives.
Oh yes, I've heard
Hello,
these.
is there anybody here? Yeah.
Can we talk to the ghost from Rowan's room?
Sweep rate. I don't know if I can hear you, and Rowan's not in here.
Yes,
so
that's why I'm asking.
I think this is playing. Start. There we go. Push the start button, maybe. Now, what it'll do, it'll start picking things up that are floating through the air. It's radio frequencies and all kinds of things. And I saw this group use this, and it was pretty accurate. So you hear all this kind of weird stuff, and it's just manufacturing sounds out of energy that it picks up. Is there anybody here that can talk to me through this? Anybody there? Is that my name?
I thought it said Scott.
Yeah. Do you know who I am? Can you say my name? How about the woman that was standing behind me? She's not here right now. Did somebody touch her? See if I increase the sweep rate, if anything happens. I'd like to communicate with somebody. If anybody's there, you want to talk to us? Now, as always happens when Dave is around, I could say, do you know Dave over on my computer screen? Say hello, Dave.
Hello there.
Hi, Dave, it said. Did you hear that? Yeah, all of you listening hear that? Sometimes it's a little hard to make out, especially when you're hearing it secondhand. Anybody else around here? Do you know my wife who lives in this house? Tell us if you know her. Do you know my wife's name? Can you tell me my wife's name? Give us some. We're not going to do this for very long, so if you're actually here and you want to communicate with us, now's your chance. Now, if you're hearing all these extra sounds, this device will take the reading of the energy in the room. It just starts creating sounds. Sometimes it'll make voices and sentences. No, Matthew, this is not a live video recording. This is live. So I know it usually doesn't happen this quick, and I know it seems like a parlor trick, and it's with all due respect, but if anybody is there, wants to talk to us, say something to us through this box. Dave?
Is the ghost from Rowan's room here with us?
It was either Dave again. It said Dave a couple of times, June.
Yeah.
Do you know my name? Yes. What's my name? Can you say it? This is just to show folks that you're here. I've got
Have
the
you used an
sleep
obelisk
rate going.
before?
I have many times.
I think the obelisk is much better.
I like the obelisk. It just gives you single words and it can string them together. I like the geoport and the spirit box because you get actual communication in voices. Anybody? I'm only going to do this for about another minute, and then we'll let this go for now. Give us some indication that... Can you give us some indication that you're here, that you hear us?
Any words of wisdom for us?
Anything you want me to share with everybody listening? Okay, we'll go about 10 more seconds. It's your last chance for now.
Goodbye on the other side.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, you good night. Goodbye. Bye.
Amazing.
I heard that. Now, this is a little thing it's a device. You can go to Google Play and get this. It's called Necrophonic. And you can call that up. And that's really all it does. And that's all it is. It's a device that, again, it's a device you download. So I'm always a little dubious of the downloadable devices. But I've got a couple of other ones that seem to work all right. I'm trying to turn it all off right now. Let's see. There we go. Close it. All right. So that's one of the devices that you can use. Now, this is just a couple of bucks that you spend, and you can get this online. And you can try it. There are also geoports. Rainey's going to build one. Rainey also built an XLS camera that plays through her, not an iPad, a pad. And you see the little stick figures. What's that, Dave?
She's a genius.
She is a genius. And so there you go. There's that. But I wanted to demonstrate that. Rainey and I picked up a lot of stuff with those. She generally doesn't like doing them in the house here. So that's why I say goodbye and good night, goodbye, and you shut it down. So necromancy, obviously, Matt Finn is what they is the word they're making a play off of. Necromancy, of course, is romancing the dead, which is not really what we're doing here, but you get the idea, folks. And so for everybody that's joining, we were just testing out a new online device. for ghost hunting, it is usable. So, what's on your mind, Dave?
Oh, you got me when you said necromancy, romancing the dead. Of course, I went right to Larry's brain.
Ah, there you go. Give us a little Larry.
Larry was a grave digger / grave robber that I used to play at the Renaissance Festival. And Larry, he had a bit of a hair limp, and he talked like this. He baked on somebody I know in real life, and Larry said I could do him, so I imitate him. And Larry, he liked, I think, I got a new girlfriend the other day. She's really warming up to me. I left her out in the sun. I like those brown girls. They're soft and squishy. And there's
Now,
more that I could do, but it's semi-family show, so
mind you that Dave did this as a character out there alongside he would do his Captain Henry Morgan character, but he every now and then he'd dress up and do Larry the Gravedigger.
And we had a cart and a coffin, and it was full of
Yep.
body parts, and we would drag it around behind us and sell jewelry. You want to buy a ring? You can just scrape those fleshy parts off.
It's funny, we had to do a parade every day at the festival where all the characters line up and the king starts it off, and you follow the king through the whole procession through all the
And
grounds.
there's nothing funner when it's 98 degrees and you're dressed in layers of leather and
Oh
wool
my God.
than to walk for
That's
a mile and a half around the festival site.
That's right. Even though there are lots of oak trees and buildings and stuff, it was still a pain. We used to call it the Death March. And I remember there was a time that you were doing Larry, the
So
Gravedigger.
we didn't want to do the parade. So we took our cart and we would roll it up along the parade route, get in just in front of the crowd, and we would sit in the cart and we would do parade commentary as people would march by, just like they do when you watch the Thanksgiving Day parade.
Yeah.
Be like stuff.
Such a colorful dress she's wearing.
Here come the musketeers. A lot of people don't know it takes a whole lot of pansies to make a musketeer, and stuff like that. And then as the parade finished, we would grab the cart and run to another location where the parade was going to pass by and do it all over again for a different audience. And then grab the cart and run to a third location, which actually in hindsight, we were doing more work dragging that cart to 3 different locations than just walking in the parade. To the point, literally, one of the last times we did it, I got back into the cart at the third location. I started to do my bit, and I started seeing flickering lights and stars in front of my eyes. And I realized, I said to my partner, Jonathan, I said, Jonathan, I'm about to pass. And I literally went over backwards out of the cart onto the ground, just completely blacked out.
Nice. So, yeah, it was funny because we saw them doing their thing on the sidelines as we're marching by with the parade, and I was with the Royals and walking with them, and then we got around to another section of the festival site, all the way over in a different thing, and there's Dave and his partner doing these characters, and they're going because they just dragged that cart and ran all the way over to the other side of the festival. So it was a lot of fun. Elderberry says, I remember acting in costume that smelled like other people's sweat. Gross. That makes you act better, though. I guess maybe so. So anyway, back on ghost stories.
Yes.
There was a lot of stuff that took place. I know I had an upstairs duplex that I lived in when I was still getting custody of my kids. It hadn't happened yet. My older daughters, they were 8 or 9, 10 or 11, something like that, 8 or 9. And I lived in this old upstairs on the east side of St. Paul, a big duplex, a house. And it was all creaky wood floors, and there was a creaky wood staircase that would go up, and there was a little landing, and then it would turn and go up 4 more steps to my door. Very narrow hallway. And it was a nice place. It was kind of cool. Everything was wood.
Is this the Georgian place?
No, this was I don't know if
not the place with the curved wall.
Yes, the place with the curved wall. Yes.
Georgian architecture. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. So I was sitting there. My kids were at their mom's, and I was late one night, and I had a little table set up in my bedroom. I had a huge bedroom, like 20 by 20, facing the front of the house. And I had a little wooden table that I would set up, and I had my computer, and I'm typing away. And I may have told this story. I told it to someone recently because I'm remembering it as I'm saying it, that I just recently told this. But I heard out on the landing outside my front door, you go 4 steps down, you're on the little landing. There was a little shelf there, all in the woodwork built into the house. And I had a little replica of the Lost in Space robot from the 60s series Lost in Space. And he had a motion detector on it. And if you waved your hand in front of the robot, he would go, "Danger, Will Robinson." And the other thing he would say, you'd wave your hand again, he'd go, "My sensors indicate an intruder is present." And so I had taken that and put it out on the landing for fun. Anybody coming up the stairs, the robot would go, and I could hear it from inside. You'd hear him go, "My sensors indicate an intruder is present." So I'm sitting at home. I'm all alone. It's after 2 a.m, and I'm typing away. And the first thing I hear is coming down that curved hallway. I hear there was the girls had a pet rat, and they'd put them in this plastic ball. You've seen these. Put
Like
the
the
rats in
gerbil
there, and
balls.
they'll roll around, whatever, a gerbil ball. And so the rat is. Can you close that door, please? Thank you. Sorry, folks. And my 10-year-old hoping to be an interruption, which she was. And so I heard this rat ball rolling down the wood floor of this curved hallway. Now it's curved, mind you. So it's not rolling in a straight, it comes all the way down the curved hallway, and it rolls into my bedroom door, which was standing open. And there's no rat in it, but it comes to a stop and just kind of teeters a little bit and sits there. And I'm thinking to myself, I thought, how did that rat ball get here? That's extraordinary. Or to quote Captain Kirk, that's damn peculiar. And so right after the rat ball comes to a stop, you hear the little robot out on the landing outside my front door going, "My sensors indicate an intruder is present. My sensors indicate an intruder is present. My sensors indicate an intruder is present." And it keeps going off. And I'm like, okay, that's not normal. So I opened up the front door, which was right outside my bedroom door. And there he is, the robot just sitting there. And he lights up again. He's got his arms and the little claws on the end, and his chest lights up along with his voice. And he goes, "My sensors indicate an intruder is present." And so I went over and I picked him up. And of course, I'm looking down the stairway. There's nothing. Middle of the night. And so I had little things that would happen like that. Now, all by themselves, those are stories you could explain away. Somebody might say, well, maybe the batteries were low on the robot. Maybe the air conditioning blew the rat ball and it rolled all around that curve and down the hallway from the girls' room to your bedroom door.
Well, if it was hitting the outside curve, it wouldn't have a choice. If it's on the inside curve, then you'd have something really suspicious.
There it is. It came right down the middle of the hallway.
Well, there you go.
Because that hallway came right smack into the door of my bedroom. So I have little things like that would happen that you could explain away. But then, and other stories of mine that you've heard, the rubber bands in the shoes, the locked doors, the cats locked in a bathroom,
the little portrait,
all the drawers being opened up inside that bathroom to prevent you from opening the door. I think I told a rather It's slightly off color, but I can keep it clean. I think I've told you this one before, but it's worth saying. There was a young woman who had come over to the house. She was having coffee with me. And Dave, you know who this is. Long red hair all the way down to her butt. And and so we're just sitting at my desk in the breezeway having coffee all day. Now, I will say for the record, I have to say, nothing happened between us. There was no physical activity. There was nothing romantic, nothing at all. We were just sitting having coffee. And there was one point, because we were drinking coffee all morning and into the early afternoon, I said, I got to go use the bathroom. And I would get up from the breezeway, walk through the kitchen, through what was the old dining room, which had a door on either side, but that became Sam's bedroom. And then on the other side was the hallway to the master bathroom and the master suite. And so I walked through there, and about halfway through Sam's bedroom, I hit a wall of icy cold air. Just whoosh. I'm like, whoa, that's weird. And then I walked back into the bathroom. And now here's it's not unsavory. It's just, you have to use your imagination. So now remember, I said, she has long red hair. Nothing happened between us. There was nothing like that at all. And I walk into the bathroom and I go to do my business, pee. And as I'm unzipping and getting ready, you're old adults, you all know what we're talking about here. All of a sudden, I'm like, what is that? And there's a hair that's wrapped all around my junk. And it's a long red hair.
It must have wrapped on it there and back again, because she had really long hair.
It was a there and back again story. And so I pulled on that and I said, that's what? And I'm pulling and it's unraveling. It comes unraveling. I'm holding this piece of hair that's 2.5 feet long. And
I can assure you, ladies and gentlemen, the hair was the only thing long in this story.
Yeah.
I can assure you. Why? Dave, that's our little secret.
Because a hair that long can wrap multiple times around a little
diamond. That's right. That's right. Around my outsy navel. And so I actually have an insy navel, just in case you're worried about that. So I unraveled this thing, and I actually went and told her when I was done with it. And I remember I was standing there.
Did you learn nothing from Clarence Thomas?
Yeah, really.
Did you learn nothing from Clarence Thomas? We did not discuss the hair.
Well, it wasn't pubic hair, so. But there I'm standing, and I'm holding this hair.
She's a witch.
To the bathroom. By the way, this is the same bathroom where Rainey had the experience where the cats got shut and the drawers got open, where she about not much longer after that had the experience where she saw the drawers open and shut and all of that. Well, I'm holding his hair up and I go, okay. I said, that's really funny. I said, appreciate that. Somebody's got good humor. And so the big question that I was plagued with was, how did that hair get in there and wrapped around that? That was something that's like poltergeist activity when you would see chairs being stacked up on a table. You look at the table, they're all around the table. You turn back, and all of a sudden there's 5 chairs stacked up on top of the table.
So this brings up 2 ghost stories.
All right. I'm not done with mine yet.
Oh, I thought you were.
Okay. Now I'm done. Go ahead.
In the purpose of mysterious objects appearing where they shouldn't.
Yes.
Okay. So sometime after my
reveling experience, June.
Yeah. Sometime after my uncle had passed away, my grandparents woke up early in the morning. My grandmother was the head director of a daycare downtown. And so my grandfather would drive her down there every morning because she didn't drive.
Yeah.
It's pouring down rain. like real hard rain. And the car is in the garage. Now, my grandparents were always extra cautious people. Okay. So the car is locked, the garage is locked, the screen door is locked, and the storm door is locked. Okay. So my grandfather gets his
we got a minute left
galoshes.
of the show, Dave. As a matter of fact, we
Well-
don't. Yeah, we got 1 minute exactly.
Okay.
If you want to
Okay,
put that
so-
story in.
He gets his rain gear on. He opens the door and the umbrella falls out between the screen door and the storm door.
Okay.
How'd it get there? It was in the car, locked in the
That's
car,
weird.
locked in the garage. All the doors were locked. Everything was still locked, but the umbrella was between the two doors.
Yeah, see, that's weird. Little stuff like that. Like, again, like the rubber bands in my shoes, the doors being locked when I wasn't
That
there.
strange red
Et
hair.
cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Strange red hair. That's odd. All right, folks, here's what we're going to do. We got the Captain's Cabin coming on right after this, so don't go anywhere. But we do have to tune out at the radio station over at Odyssey Radio, ODYSYradio.com. So, everybody, I want to thank you for being here and listening. To live long and prosper.
You're listening to the Intrepid radio program with Scotty Roberts. Intelligent talk.
All right, folks,
The
we're
show's
back.
over. About
I
10
am
people
going
should line
to.
in now.
What's that?
I said the show's over, so about 10 more people should show up now.
Yeah, really. I think they all go listen to other shows and they come here. So, let's see. Right now, I'm going to go ahead and disconnect. Oh, it disconnected automatically. So we are off. I can unplug this. I'm going to turn my computer a little bit. Unplugging is taking it out of the hole is sometimes easier than getting it in. Had to be said. So, what are you shaking your head for?
You.
So,
Not going to have audio loop anymore.
yeah, now we'll have audio, but we won't have the looping problem.
So the second
So,
story that
there
your
we go,
story
Dave.
reminded me of. The second story that your story reminded me of. We're shooting that film out in West Virginia. And we were shooting on this particular day in the mansion that not only had Alexander Campbell built, but it's where Alexander Campbell died. It's where his wife died. It's where one of his, maybe two of his kids had died. So the original house was built in the late 1700s. It was added on to in the 1800s. Lots of history. And we're shooting the scene where his wife is going to be passing during childbirth. Okay. And so the actors are getting ready for that. They're emotionally getting ready to do this. It's a really tough scene. Very few people on that. We had the cameraman there. We had a producer there. The director was there. The actors were there. And they wanted something changed in the set dressing. So I'd been called into the mansion. Everybody else was staying outside of the house to try and keep from having any disturbances. And so the house is laid out. So you come in the main entrance and there's a walk through to the back side of the house. There's a staircase that goes up to the second floor. There's a room on the left and a room on the right. The room on the right is a parlor. On the back side of the parlor is a bedroom. So I cross in through the parlor. I start walking across this room. I get to about the middle of the room and I walk through that wall of ice cold.
Yeah.
Hey, girls. And
got a whole audience here now.
It's like you pass through. I mean, it's a deep winter chill in a hot summer day, right?
Yes.
We're shooting in summer. It's hot.
Guys,
Must have been in the 80s or 90s. And I literally walked through like a 30 or 40 degree temperature change as I walk through that, right?
Yes.
I stop and the producer is in the bedroom and she's looking towards the door to the thing. She's facing me as I hit that, and my expression changed, my composure changed, everything, and I immediately stepped to the right.
Okay.
Sorry, I had an alarm go off. And she looks at me and she goes, "Did you just walk through that cold spot?" And I'm like, "I did." And she goes, "It was here in the doorway a minute ago." And I'm standing there. I put my left arm out and directly, and I don't feel it. And I start drawing my hand down, and about shoulder height, I run into something that's ice cold. And I'm waving my hand up and down through this ice cold spot and then back and forth. And then I realize, it dawns on me what I'm doing. There's an entity standing next to me, and I'm just passing my hand through it. I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't."
Oh. Sorry about that.
He's like, "That felt good. Do it again."
Yeah, really.
I mean, it was so bizarre. It was so collected. It was literally at the height of a person, the width of a person. When you moved your hand, if I went just so many inches this way, warm air, cold air, warm air, and oh, I'm waving my arm around here. It's not on camera. You can't see me doing that. I don't know why
It's
I'm
over
doing
here, and then it did this with its hand. It made this gesture.
Yeah.
just like that, Rowan. Just like that. I'm waving my arm around, and it was crazy.
Bree's arm, not yours.
Was that Bree's arm? It was crazy weird. And it's interesting that it's the day we're filming the wife's death that this entity is standing there observing.
And she died in that house?
And died in that room, in the bed that we're filming in. We're recreating a scene that happened in real life 100 years earlier.
Nice.
You know?
Well,
Bree
just felt a cold thing back here at the beginning of the show.
I know, I was here.
Yeah.
The icy
I didn't know
touch.
if you were in here yet or not. So,
what's up, Rowan?
Very pronounced.
She thinks she's dying.
I had a tick on my leg. It's gonna kill me.
It's a tick. It's not on your leg anymore, though.
Did you get it off? Did you get it off?
I saw it.
I had to
I
hold
saw
her
it.
down.
Here.
Rainey took it out.
Yeah. Yeah, it's here in this.
How big did it get?
Not that big.
Oh
Right
my God!
there.
It hardly drank anything, Rowan. You're fine.
Yeah, it's not full of. It's not engorged with your blood or anything.
It's
Yeah.
probably when Dawn threw
There
the
it is.
volleyball at me and I had to dive for it.
Here,
So I
there it
took
is.
So Rowan, this is what you want to watch out for. If you get weird red rings around where it was biting you, that's not good. If you suddenly start liking boys, that's not a good sign.
That's
Too
not good.
late, Uncle
If you
Dave.
go start growing fangs, it had big fangy teeth,
Or a big beard.
So
beard, yeah, that'll do it.
if you get any
Or if it's
strange
a
bumps
deer
where you
tick-
didn't have bumps before, that's not a good sign.
You know how you can
So-
tell if it's a deer tick? Antlers.
Antlers. Yeah.
Nicely done, Bree.
I have to. Every show I
That's
do.
She
my
has to.
classy broad.
That's one classy broad you got there.
It's gonna itch.
Well, I'm gonna
If
die.
your hair suddenly turns red, that's not a good sign.
Yeah, that's not a good
Ooh.
sign either.
Oh, what?
Oops. Shh. Ixnay on the Red Bay. Ticks suck. They certainly do.
They do.
Let's just watch Bree for a
Not
minute.
as bad as mosquitoes.
We'll just watch Bree for a minute. She was fixing her hair.
I was.
Got that
So-
sort of, we should do a mural of Lady Godiva and she could pose for us.
She could.
She's got long hair.
I think her
That's what
beard
I was
is
thinking.
longer than
I don't know
yours,
what you were thinking, but that's what I was thinking.
I'm sure it was. Rainey's got long hair too, Probably longer than yours.
though. I think her beard's longer than Dave's, though.
That's,
Mm.
that's so nice.
That's a great beard.
This is yeah.
Well, Uncle Dave, can I cut off your beard?
Very shortly from now. I'm
There you
getting
go.
to that point.
We'll glue it on your face and you could be Uncle Dave. This
Or
is
maybe you'll actually grow a beard like you wanted before you became old
Yeah.
and can't grow anything no more.
Rasputin in his old age. So
We'll save it to make a wig for your dad.
Yeah, exactly.
by the way, if anybody else wants to call in with their ghost stories, there you go. We're not going to be here super long tonight because we got guests. we're gonna go join them upstairs. So we'll only be here for a little bit tonight. And oh, there she is.
Where's Ellie Belly?
There's Haley. This is
Hi, Haley.
she belongs to them.
Yep, she does.
So
Where's Ellery?
Dad, actually,
Upstairs.
we took a DNA test, found out I'm actually her daughter.
oh, okay,
I look
cool.
more
Fuck.
like.
How'd I pull that off?
That's what
I'm
that
gonna go get
massive
Ellery.
turd was.
So, all right.
We-
IOX says, does that mean I'm an artist? I want to paint you. Does that mean I am an artist? I want to paint you line work since Titanic.
like paint.
Oh, like Leonardo.
Oh.
did.
Yeah, paint.
Iowa,
on
paint me
Titanic.
paint me like one of your French girls.
No, not today.
Was it French?
Yes.
Everyone's favorite 10-year-old.
There it is. For a while.
You are not cutting.
On a non-obnoxious night.
On a non-obnoxious night, she's a nice kid.
Where did you
When
get
she's
popcorn?
sleeping.
Okay, then
She's
you-
always a
oh,
nice
Rainy making popcorn up there? We got a popcorn machine. That
That's a
Rainey
great
bought
pose.
for-
You should photograph that. That's a great pose. It makes a heart shape.
I could.
The two girls with their heads and their
Yeah,
arms
yeah.
coming down makes a heart shape.
Get out of
I
the
like
way.
that.
There you go.
No.
So, Elderberry says, hint, well-mannered little one. I hope it infects.
Yeah. She's got you fooled.
Yeah, really.
What?
It's just for the camera.
Yeah.
So,
You're fine.
hey, Steve Clark. And if you got to bug out of here because your internet's acting funny, we'll catch you another time.
Mine's been acting funny today too. I don't know what that's all about.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Dad.
Say, when you were showing the image from the basement
Yes.
and you were desaturating it to change the
yeah.
opacity so that you could see through, do that again sometime and take a look at where the head
Sure.
is. Because I could swear that a face started to show up in that.
Well, I thought there was one too. Here, look at this. I will share my screen once again. And let's go over there to Photoshop. And this right here. So if I took this and
Take the
started to
opacity down.
desaturate it, like this, bless you,
No, you did not.
Now, right there, do you not see a face?
up here.
Yeah.
You're talking about up
What's-
here, right?
What's up with that?
Can you
Well,
zoom in
that's
on
what
that?
we thought 10 years ago when we were looking at this. Is that a face that's actually showing up? But I can't do anything with this
Can you zoom?
because it's I can zoom in, but it's a low res shot is the
Right,
problem.
right. Well,
So you're
that
not gonna
reminds
get
me a
much
lot of
more
the monk
detail.
at the castle.
Yeah. So you got that. Are these two eyes?
That's
Coming
what I
through?
see. I see a face starting to
Because-
form.
What you're looking at is the underside. Wait, what is this? Is this the no, that's a concrete support
Yeah.
in there. And you're seeing that through that. Is that hair coming down? Is that two eyes?
Almost looks like it's like a hood over the guy.
Almost does. Almost does. And if you were to take this and invert it, I'm curious.
Well,
in
who
the
knows what
inverse.
kind of aura it's projecting, as
Right.
it's doing when there's so little known about shadow people, but it does have a facial sort of recognition there. And again, part of that is, are we matrixing? Are our brains,
Right.
because we're trained as artists to see faces,
Yeah, I can't do much.
are
with
we
it at
are we
this
identifying
resolution.
faces where faces aren't? I find
Right.
faces in wood grain and in stonework all the time because the
Right.
artist in me sees the shadows and I go, oh, well, there's a shadow for this and a shadow for that. And that, so,
Yeah. Yeah.
so I always have to, I'm super skeptical of that, but at the same time, I'm super curious where that's supposed to be the head and there it appears to be a face there. So that just,
Right.
and when
yeah,
when you go back to
but you do
the
see,
orb of the monk,
markings on the concrete, things
Yeah.
like that. That can sometimes come right through there, but that would have been right in here somewhere above
Well,
the pipe.
And it's like I
There's
pointed
too
out
much
with
in there.
when I did the shield at the Masonic Lodge and I was dry brushing the black over the silver to give it that steel appearance.
Yes.
When you'd step back, you could see a skull in the image, even though no skull was drawn or painted in. It
Sure.
was just
Yep.
the way the light hit the shadows of the paint and stuff. And it wasn't just me seeing it. I brought you in and several other people. In fact, it's one of the things that brothers that know about it will point it out to other brothers there.
Right.
So it's clearly in the effect of the paint. How it got there, I have no idea.
Right. Right.
It wasn't intentional. But then the part of me always wonders when I'm seeing something like this, a shadow person or an orb or whatever, and we see a face in there, are we really seeing a face, or is it just the way the pixelation is creating shadow effects and highlight effects that
We'll be done.
create a face-like structure that our brains interpret that way because
Right. You going
we're
upstairs?
wired to do that.
Bye.
We'll join you shortly.
Bye-bye.
Okay, let's
I'm
go.
gonna go eat some
Bye,
popcorn.
Bree.
Let's go then.
Bye, Scotty.
Love you, Rowan. Bye-bye.
God, break.
Really?
What happened?
This thing.
She fell.
Oh,
Ass knocked
oh.
over the statue.
Your ass knocked over the bust?
Don't do that.
How crazy is that?
Bye,
All right.
Bree.
Bye.
Oh, it's backwards.
Goes this way.
I'll shut the door for now.
Thank you. We'll be up shortly.
Scotty, quit playing with those.
Can't help myself. All right. That's a ancient blow up doll.
Yeah.
Artifact.
All stone.
So, all stone. All right. Well, what else we got going on? Anything going on? Yeah, Brianna does have beautiful hair. Not that I'm looking. Husband, you know. So,
It's okay. Nobody ever mentions my hair.
John, you have beautiful hair.
You do, John.
It's quite a beard you have there. There.
Do you put curlers in your beard?
No.
Oh, that's all
John's
natural.
not that kind of guy.
Yeah. I hate
So that's
curls.
all.
It sucks.
That's all natural then. Wow.
Yeah, he's naturally curly.
They just come off my pubes that way, and when I glue them on, they just
Oh!
hold the curls.
Yeah, he just licks them and sticks them on. There it is. All right. I hate to go out on that note.
Yeah, I do too. Let's
But,
talk about something else for a few minutes. That's
Yeah, really. So, anyway, folks, hope you enjoyed the show tonight. Dave, I'm going to dump you.
I was
Uncle
just going to
Dave?
say thanks, Barbie D, for your support, and to Michelle as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Always good seeing you, Dave.
Always good seeing you
All right.
too, John.
All right, brother. I'll talk to you soon. All right, guys. It's just us again. Here we are, getting ready to go. Rainey can come and say goodnight because Bree got lots of airtime. So let's give Rainey some airtime. Say
Good night.
good night. We're going to come upstairs.
Okay.
So,
Awesome.
all right, guys. How you doing? You tired?
I'm tired. I got a bit of a headache going on,
Uh-oh. I can tell something's going on.
right?
All right. Well, we'll be up shortly. You cooking anything?
I made popcorn.
It's a joke. It's a joke.
I made popcorn for Haley. She wanted popcorn.
Of course you did. Show
Because, as you all know, because the Supreme Court now has ruled that abortion can go back to the states instead of being a federal law, that all women's rights are now going to be taken away. Just thought I'd remind you all of that. There will be no women's rights.
Oh my God.
They're going to take away the women vote.
Please tell me you're not that dumb.
Yeah,
Please tell me you're not that dumb.
exactly.
There are only 13 states who may possibly not do abortions. It's only
Yeah.
13 states.
That leaves you 37 states that will.
right?
So, if you're concerned about
I saw
that.
your son-in-law might be getting a vasectomy.
My son-in-law?
Yeah, it was posted. I saw it posted on
Oh.
Facebook.
Yeah,
Well, there
let's
you
tell
go.
The whole internet.
So no grandchildren from them. So it's their business, not mine. So that's all I got for tonight. So good night. Oh, wait, I'm coming with you. So, all right. That's why I didn't get a kiss. Stay away. So, All right, everybody. Thank you for being here. Thanks for putting up with some of the antics tonight. Hey, Sarah Yusuf, if someone had an abortion out of state, would they still be jailed? I don't know. Jailed by who? That's the thing. There's certain states that would do that. I think the argument has always been, if you're going to get an abortion under the new laws and your state doesn't allow it, you just go to the neighboring state and get it done. That's the thing.
Everybody does that with weed in Colorado.
Yeah.
You know,
If you can drive to Colorado, yeah.
Right.
We didn't have weed stores here. It wasn't legalized here.
Right.
My brother-in-law would drive to Colorado and get weed. Yeah. So it's like, you know what?
People are going to find a way, plain and simple.
If you can get weed, you can do whatever you want. And so Iowa X says Moloch is so mad they're going to toss Hillary in the fire. Yeah, there you go. They're going to make so much political, try to make so much political hay out of this. It's unbelievable. I couldn't believe we had the President of the United States today. I'm sorry, the Vice President of the United States say that we should abolish the Supreme Court of the United States. And I'm going to leave you with that thought. Let you know the kind of people that are in office. So you don't get your way. What are you going to do? Let's abolish it. So there you go. It's not a federal thing, not anymore. So yeah, abortion is not a federal issue. It's not an issue of constitutional rights. So people may say, well, I have a right to get an abortion. Okay. Well, check with your state laws and make sure your state has legalized it or illegalized it. But it's no longer a right. It never was a right. That's what made it bad law. It's not constitutional rights. So all the people complaining, I wanted to tell President Kamala Harris, why don't you go read your Constitution? Get up on that, snuff up on that a little bit. Same with Ocasio-Cortez. So there you go. Anyway, I'm going to end on that note. Yeah, go check it out. And guys, we will see you on, it's now Friday night, so we'll see you on Sunday morning. I got to take the two older kids canoeing tomorrow with the Scouts. And so, no, you don't. You're the two older kids when I'm just making reference to you.
You're too old to know.
So there it is. Smartass 10-year-old. So
number one.
Smartass number one. There's your name. So I will see you all on Naked HD XYZ. Oh my God. Sex Cheaper Tinder. Oh, I see. Oh, okay. I see what that is. Well, yeah, that's just somebody. That's the kind of stuff we were getting the other night. So anyway, folks, that's all we got for tonight. I love you. Have a good night. Live long and prosper for the second time around.